Hey, what's up guys? I'm Nuo, and today I'm going to be going over one of my favorite endgame solo builds. This is not a brand new build, but it's got my own twist on it, so I thought I'd share it with everyone. I'm going to call this build Impressive Brightness, and you will see why in just a moment. In short, overcharge your grenades to become charged with light, then become supercharged and charge your super. The build revolves around Top Tree Nova bombs and its ability to have infinite grenades when paired with the Contraverse Hold exotic. The Attunement of Chaos allows you to overcharge your grenades and make them deal a little bit more damage and last a little bit longer. Some people refer to this tree as Slova Bomb. This build allows you to play in a spot where you don't need to take damage, and you can play as slow as you need to slowly whittle down enemies while always playing your life. It's best in super underleveled content like Grandmasters, specifically when solo. As I said earlier, the name of the build is Impressive Brightness, which is just a play on words, named after the artifact mod Oppressive Darkness. Hopefully we'll get that mod coming back soon. Oppressive Darkness works very well with this build, but for the time being we don't have it in our artifact, so we will make do. Like I said, the main exotic is Contraverse Hold. Resist incoming damage while charging your Void Grenade with Chaos Accelerant, Feed the Void, or Handheld Supernova. Charged Void Grenades return a random amount of grenade energy on a hit. So when you throw your grenade, it's going to return a random amount of energy. The good thing about Vortex grenades is that they will actually return more energy than any other grenade. Because of the overcharged ability, they will last longer than a usual grenade, and they will tick twice. They will give you a random amount of grenade energy, and then they will tick again toward the end of the grenade's duration and give you another random amount of void energy. So it's pretty easy to get your grenade back after throwing it. We'll be pairing this with a Charge with Light build that is going to allow us to have high energy fire pretty much at all times. We'll start with Shield Break Charge. Like I said, this build is great in Grandmasters and underleveled content, and a classic staple of underleveled content is Match Game. So, by breaking all those shields, you'll be able to easily charge yourself with light. We'll also be running Charge Harvester, so when we get kills with our grenades, we have a chance to get charged with light. While you're not charged with light, any kill or assist has a small cumulative chance to cause you to become charged with light. So, if we get a few kills with our grenade, we'll get charged with light as long as we aren't already charged with light. We'll pair that with stacks on stacks, so each time both of those mods proc, we'll get 2 charges of charge with light. We'll also use supercharge so we can hold up to 4 charges of charge with light. And lastly, we'll be using high energy fire for a 20% damage bonus whenever we're charged with light. And each kill we get with a weapon will remove one of those stacks. Why make a high energy fire build, you ask? Well, at the end of the day, a lot of the charge with light mods are kind of one-time uses, right? I wanted to go with a build that you could use throughout the entire strike. A 20% damage bonus is really strong, and if you play your cards correctly, you can have that bonus for the entirety of the strike. Because of how high energy fire works, if you get a kill with a weapon, it removes a stack. But if you get a kill with your grenade, you keep that stack. So as long as you're not really killing any enemies with your weapons and finishing them off with grenades, you'll never lose stacks. But at the same time, even if you do lose those stacks of high energy fire from getting weapon kills, it's really easy to get back with both Charge Harvester and Shield Break Charge. If there aren't a lot of shields in the activity you're doing, you can always throw Empowered Finish or Taking Charge or something like that on. But I would say if you're doing like a Grandmaster Nightfall, the best option is going to be Shield Break Charge. For our armor mods, on our class item, we're going to want to run Sundering Glare, which will allow our weapons to debuff enemies, and it's a 20% debuff, and will make all your numbers yellow. So just increase our damage while we can. Nice and easy way. Run at least 1 Grenade Launcher Scavenger. If you don't have Supercharged on your boots and you have it on another piece of armor, you can probably put 2 on here. If not, just throw on like a Recuperation mod or another stat mod here. On your chest, depending on what Nightfall it is, you want to have at least 2 resist mods. Don't worry about reserves mods, not really that useful. Concussive Dampener is good. Arc Resist is good with all the Fallen strikes we've had. So if you have an Arc chest, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what element you use. You can always mess around with these non-elemental specific resist mods. But I do recommend running 2 resist mods and no reserves. For the arms, I mean, you've got 2 slots and they're already full with anti-barrier stuff. So just throw a stat mod and whatever your, whatever Charge with Light mod you can fit on your Contraverses. For your helmet, you want to run at least 1 grenade launcher ammo finder. You can run either Ashes to Assets or another grenade launcher ammo finder to get more Anarchy ammo, and then fill in the rest with a stat mod and your Charge with Light mod. Now that we have the Charge with Light mods out of the way and we get that flat 20% damage bonus from the high energy fire, we can talk about our weapons. I'm pretty much always going to be using Anarchy in content like this. Anarchy pairs super nicely with this build because the whole point of this build is to stand behind cover, throw your grenade, peek back into cover. Anarchy matches this playstyle. It allows you to peek shot and stand behind cover and deal damage over time along with your grenades. For the kinetic and energy weapons, it really depends on the activity you're doing. Right now, in the artifact, we've got Overload SMG, Unstoppable Hand Cannon, Anti-Barrier Scout, Unstoppable Pulse, Overload Bow, and Anti-Barrier Sniper. Of those 5 mods, you can pretty much rule out Overload SMG as it's really inconsistent, and Overload Bow is a much better option. At least in this season, every Nightfall has at least 1 barrier champion in it, so you're always going to need to run a barrier weapon. I strongly recommend a Scout Rifle. Scout Rifles are extremely strong in content like this, especially ones with explosive payload, because explosive payload has no damage fall off, so it will allow your shots to deal at least half the damage they usually do, even if you're a million miles away. It also flinches enemies, so that's a bonus. The 2 weapons that can roll explosive payload are Night Watch, which is a random world drop, and the Vouchsafe, which is a Dreaming City weapon. You can farm this either in the Shattered Throne dungeon or from different Dreaming City activities. Explosive payload is not a dungeon-specific perk. Another option, as always, is the Madrugada SR2. This is a very, very good scout rifle. I actually did my first solo of the Devil's Lair Grandmaster with the scout rifle. It's a random world drop because it's a blue. It can't be infused, so as long as you get one at 1300, I just lock it and throw it in your vault. Maybe throw a snazzy shader on it too. Again, it really comes down to personal preference which weapons you want to do. And you can switch out Anarchy if you want to, but if you're using this build, I highly recommend using Anarchy with probably double primary. Just the most consistent thing. You can get your playstyle down. The key for all of these solo challenges that I've been doing on the channel is to just be patient, right? You find a spot in the map where enemies can't shoot at you and you can shoot at them. That's all it is. There are some Nightfalls coming up, like Warden of Nothing, the Disable Mines section, where I'm going to have to rely on Hunter Invis, at least for my first clear, because it's time-gated, right? You can't play as slow as possible. Another one is the Insight Terminus, that boss fight. There are infinitely spawning ads, and you need to cap plates where there are ads trying to stand on. So I'll have to throw in some builds, either Hunter or maybe suppressing Warmind cells. But we'll figure that out when we get there. But for the most part, for the 2 Nightfalls we've had so far, the Devil's Lair and the Arms Dealer, you can play safe from any spot you want and just throw grenades. So, yeah, this build works perfectly for that. Thanks everyone for watching, and if you liked the build or you found it useful in any way, make sure to leave a like on the video and drop a subscription. I'll be trying to upload builds like this for other characters over the next couple of days, maybe weeks, depending on how lazy I am. But I'll also be still uploading my solo Grandmasters content, as well as any other fun things I get done. The support I've gotten recently has been awesome on my last few videos, so keep it up. Have a good one.